ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930 present The Drive.
Welcome into the Monday, May 23rd edition. The Drive is on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I'm your host, Paul Swann. We're going to open up the phone line and the text line for you this hour. The phone line is 877-420-TALK. That's 877-420-8255. Now, our text line, and it's your opportunity to throw that random tweet at me. I read them all. 304-396-TALK. 304-396-8255. That's the text line to be a part of the program. We're going to open that up for you right now and give you an opportunity to comment on what happened this weekend. What's official? It's official. There are no more team activities against Conference USA opponents. It's it. It's over. It's done. It did not end the way you wanted to. Baseball faltered, but it's over. We are done. We are out of Conference USA. Now, it's not official just yet, but we're out. How do you feel about that? We're finally out of this thing. This thing that was sold to me years ago as a good thing. And like, oh, yeah, I get to play Memphis. Look, Cincinnati, Louisville. Oh, yeah, I'm all in on this thing. Let's go. Let's get into Conference USA. And then that map changed real quick. I remember there was a beautiful, beautiful map that was printed. And look, Marshall's going to be in the center of all of that. And then this thing just fell apart, and they continue to fall apart, and they continue to fall apart until it can't fall apart anymore. There's nothing left to fall apart. It's not very good. And Marshall's leaving this thing finally. So I'm excited. I'm happy. That means new beginnings, maybe new opportunities. We got a new athletic director that has come in and is trying to get a lay of the land, trying to figure out how to elevate this program. And by the way, he's on the program tomorrow. And I've already thrown it out on Twitter. Give you an opportunity. Would you like to ask a question? If I give you a question, I just take away one of my questions and give it to you and let you ask the question. And I'll ask it for you, and I will do it as a professional. As a paid professional radio announcer, I will ask that question, and I will present it to Christian Spears. I will not be afraid to ask it, whatever that question may be. What would it be? What would your question be? Now, of course, already I've got one question that needs an answer, and this is from a former sports reporter, John Mulvaney, WSAZ. He is asking me, when are we retiring Steve Cotton and Keith Morehouse's jersey? That's a good question. Where will we put that? Are we putting that at the Henderson Center? Are we doing a Ring of Honor instead, maybe at the stadium? Put up a number 3. Do we put a 3 up for Keith? I mean, we're doing a jersey for Keith. I know 3. I don't know what Cotton's number would be. 93.7 is the flagship of the Thundering Herd radio network here. Do we give him 93.7? I mean, do we give him 930? I mean, 930 is the older of the two stations, and it's a simulcast. Do we give him one of the radio numbers, or we hold on to that? I don't know what number we would give them. That's an important question. I'm going to have to ask. So those are some of the things that I am getting. Actually, this is a question also I got. And again, I'm going to read them now. Will he answer them tomorrow? I don't know, but I love them. What is his favorite restaurant so far in Huntington? What is his favorite restaurant so far in Huntington? I want to know that. I mean, is it Oscar's Breakfast, Burgers, and Brews? Is it Oscar's? Is it a favorite restaurant? I mean, do we go with Tudor's? Is it Tudor's his favorite? Okay, now I don't know if that's a restaurant. I mean, you can go in and eat food, but it's good. It's a great way to start your day. I mean, is it the Marshall or Kentucky Hall of Fame Cafe? Probably Marshall Hall of Fame Cafe. So, is it one of the local restaurants on 9th Street? Does he go down during 9th Street Live? Did he go down the 9th Street Live? Is he going to go to 9th Street Live and eat at one of the fine establishments on 9th Street? Is it one of those? Is Midway Hot Dogs his favorite hot dog? It's mine. It's my favorite hot dog. Is it his? I need to know these things. So these are some of the questions I'm getting. And you can ask as well. You can find me on Twitter, at Paul Swann. That's at Paul Swann on Twitter. And I will absolutely read all of these. And I'm going to ask him a lot of these. So we might save some of the funnier ones towards the end of the interview. I might hit him with one of the beginning funny ones. I'm looking forward to talking to him, though, because he's got through a lot since we have spoken last. You had the conference meetings, getting an opportunity to meet his counterparts, coaches, got a chance to meet their counterparts, start to kind of get a feel for what this league is all about. I know the big question is divisions. Is that going to continue in the Sun Belt? And that seems to be the indication, because that was sort of a selling point, the geography. Hey, we've got this footprint that we like with our East and West, and it makes it easier. I mean, if you're a Power 5 school, divisions don't matter because you have the resources to travel. Divisions don't matter. If you're in a league, like say the ACC, how far are you really traveling in the ACC? Not really. You're not traveling that far. Mountain West, maybe a little bit further, but not too much. I mean, what's the travel there, and what are your resources like? So travel's not an issue. For the Sun Belt, it's an attractive proposition to have divisions. Have divisions and keep it that way, because you're going to form some really solid dynamics here. I mean, Marshall Appalachian State is a given every year. I mean, Marshall Coastal Carolina, it could become something really special. We don't know yet. We hope. And so I like divisions. I know some of you do, some of you don't, and that's fine. I don't know where you fall on it, but where I fall is I like divisions because, I like playing for a championship and winning a division to get to the championship. You could be the second best team in the East Division, and whatever arbitrary or not arbitrary method we use to determine who gets in the championship game, do you want the second best team in the East? But if we do away with divisions, there won't be an East or West. So how do we determine the second best? And I like the fact that you're determining you got to have your crossover games, obviously. But I like the fact that you got to win your division. That means you got to win your division. You got to do what it takes. You have to, if you're the best team in the East, you face the best team in the West. I like that. I like that formula. And you might want to try to take the two best. If you're in the power league, you can travel again. It's fine. Whatever works. It's not as if Marshall is going to ultimately get into the college football playoff from the Sun Belt on a yearly basis. Access Bowl, yes, but the playoff itself, not until it expands. Once it expands, there's going to be a little bit more of a legitimate shot at getting in. Until then, I like divisions. We'll see where Christian falls, and we'll see if there might be some talk in the future, but I kind of like the geography now of the East and West, and that goes for basketball and all the other sports as well. I mean, this is really a football move. You keep those divisions in the other sports, but this is a football move, and I don't think it plays into the strengths of the Sun Belt going in this direction, and I don't think the Sun Belt wants to do that right now. I think they're handling it pretty well as far as we're not going to do divisional breakups. We like our divisions. We just got this thing together. This is how we put it together because we made it so enticing that we were able to attract other schools to come in and expand what we are doing. And honestly, if non-divisions work for other leagues, that's fine. But where Marshall's at right now, I think it's rather attractive to have divisional play. And you're going to do it in other sports as well. So why not just keep it in football? But I see the argument. You want to have the best two. So if Marshall's second best in the East but better than the West team, well, why can't Marshall? Well, you handle your business and then you get to go to the championship game. That's always my feeling. We'll see. Whatever the format is, Marshall will adjust to it. I just like the divisions. So we're going to get your phone calls and text in. Let's do that. We'll get your phone calls at 877-420-TALK, 877-420-8255. And our text line is 304-396-TALK. That's 304-396-8255. So those are the numbers to be a part of the program. We're going to fire up the text machine right now. Also, Twitter. It's a very popular social media network, I hear. At Paul Swann. And if you would also give me a follow, if you haven't just yet, I would really appreciate that. The more, the merrier. And I love talking to you guys. So if you got things you want to say to me, it's 3 a.m. If you at me, I probably won't see it at 3 a.m., but I will get it. Eventually, I'll get the notification at 3 a.m. If you just have something on your mind, I got to get this out to Paul. 3 a.m. Now, if I reply at 3:01 or something, something's up. But Twitter, at Paul Swann. More coming up. It's The Drive, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
This is The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
Welcome back to the Monday, May 23rd edition, The Drive. Paul Swann, your host on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Our producer this afternoon is wearing his Pittsburgh Pirates hat. Commend you for wearing that. Kudos to you. So, young Christian Palmer wearing his Pirates hat. The Pirates lost 18-4 yesterday against the St. Louis Cardinals. So, St. Louis sweeps the series. They're good. This game was terrible. I'm not going to lie to you. This was terrible. Molina pitched the ninth inning. I left that thing. I moved on to other things. I'm done. I'm moving on. We got hockey. I had hockey. Had errands to run. So I had hockey to listen to. Forget that. Things to do. Pirates baseball all season long right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I know I'm doing a great job of promoting the Pirates. So thankfully they are done with St. Louis for a bit. Colorado coming up tonight. 3-game series against the Rockies. 6:35 first pitch. We go in the air at 6:10. And I'll tell you what, I don't know if the roster moves that the Pirates have made are going to do any good. They called up their starting pitchers, Ronzi Contreras and Yeri de Los Santos, being called up from AAA. So, Ronzi, good luck. Good luck. Pittsburgh Pirates baseball all season long right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. We got NBA action coming up tonight on our sister station, Cat Sports 93.3 and 1340. We'll tell you more about that in a little bit. We're getting some of your questions in. I'm pre-stacking the deck. Tomorrow I've got Christian Spears coming back in studio. On Wednesday I've got Jason Courier. Jason's doing double duty. He will be bringing over tomorrow Christian Spears to do the show. And then on Wednesday, Jason said he'd come over because this is going to be his final day. If you recognize the name, you don't know exactly who he is. For about, 11 years, sports information director at Marshall University. He has accepted a different position at Tulane University. So tomorrow he will be over here escorting it's sort of like a presidential escort here. They'll be escorting Mr. Spears into the studio. And then Wednesday, we're going to talk to him, talk about his time at Marshall. And Jason and his family have been so much a part of the Marshall community for those years. It wasn't just, okay, I'm the SID, I'll do the job. I mean, it's families at every single event you can possibly imagine. You know, he did all the radio games after a while on the road for women's basketball. Opportunity there. So normally some schools don't have that. Marshall does. Jason was calling those games, so he was very invested in the program. So we're going to talk to him, kind of get his take on what these last 10, 11 plus years have been like for him as he wraps up his career at Marshall. But if you ever work at Marshall for a long enough period of time, when you leave, you're still part of the Herd family. Hashtag Herd family. Hey, I got to go with the branding here. I got to keep on the branding. So we'll have those guys in here the next couple of days, but I'm looking forward to talking to Mr. Spears. I got a couple of interesting questions. We'll ask these tomorrow. Pat wants to know what out-of-conference games is he trying to line up for football in the future. We'll see if he'll reveal anything. He'll get an opportunity here. There'll be some openings soon in the schedule, so we'll ask him that. Here's one. Since it's hard to get high major conference opponents to play on our home floor in hoops, what does he think about Marshall playing in a multi-team neutral site tournament for some out-of-conference games? That's going to be an interesting dynamic because that's going to depend on the direction of basketball. One, Dan's got a year on his contract. That's just a stating of fact. We'll see how that goes, how long Dan wants to continue, how long the university wants to continue the relationship. Dan's got an opportunity to Dan has an opportunity. I'm not saying it's like a one-year trial here. It's basically, okay, yeah, you're not letting someone go until you've had an opportunity to work with them for a while, get a feel for what they're able to do. So you have a new athletic director come in. What do? He didn't go in and just clean house. Like, get out of here. You guys aren't doing – no, you're out. He didn't do that. Instead, he's doing what any person should do is making a proper evaluation and allowing Dan the courtesy, finishing out, extending the deal, making the deal possible. It was there. The option was available. So taking that option, giving him the opportunity to let's see where we can go. Let's see where Marshall basketball looks like. See what happens in the Sun Belt. And then go from there. But I think scheduling philosophy, of course, that's partially coach. That's going to be partially athletic director. I think you got to get Jeff O'Malley involved in this as well. You got to make some decisions. What's going to benefit the basketball program from a strength of schedule standpoint, financially? Are these winnable type games? Are you just taking a paycheck? What are you doing here? What's the philosophy here? And, of course, it's tough to get people to come into the Henderson Center. You're not going to bring in a lot of opponents because over the years, historically, the Henderson Center has been a tough place to play. For teams that come in, it's been a tough place to play. It's not impregnable. It's not a fortress where if Indiana came in tomorrow, maybe Indiana can get out of here with a win. I don't know. I'm just using them. If Kentucky came in, one, Kentucky's not coming in, but two, if they did, just a one-off there. They might get at it with a win. I don't know. But it's been a tough place to play. If you're not Duke, Kentucky, you're not one of the elites, big-time teams that would probably not come in anyway, and you're probably a mid-range Power 5, Autonomy 5 team, it's going to be tough for you. It's going to be tough for you to get that win. So might not be an attractive venue. And, of course, it's not exactly easy to get here. It's not difficult as some places, but it's not exactly easy to get here as well. Not exactly. So, and that plays in, everybody's got that problem. If you're flying into Charlotte, it's a lot easier to fly into Charlotte than it is Huntington. It's getting better. So you got to be able to see what travel looks like. There are so many factors here. We could go on and on, but at the end of the day, I like that idea. You can play in a holiday tournament. I don't like, and this is just me. This is one man's opinion, nothing more, nothing less. One man's opinion. I'm sharing with you, and you have the opportunity to share back. I don't like the tournaments that Marshall's been in. I would like to go to a little bit more high-profile tournament instead of these where you play host and then you play Indiana and then you play host to everyone else. I don't like that. Take a road trip, go somewhere, a little higher profile, play some higher level competition. I don't want to play lower level competition. I don't want to pad the resume with wins like that. I don't want to do it. I want as good, if not better, competition. Comparable, like competition, if not better. I don't like those games where it's a foregone conclusion. I don't. It doesn't mean anything. The wins and losses you get from those, sure, they might be confidence builders, but that's about it. I don't know if I like that. Now, there's different philosophies to that. Maybe you take those easy games and then you pad the resume a little bit. I don't think you need to be doing that, especially in a situation where you're in the Sun Belt now and it's not as strong of a basketball league. So you're going to have to improve your strength of schedule somewhere, right? Am I off base on that? And here's an opportunity for you to tell me if I'm off base. It's 877-420-TALK, 877-420-8255, and our text line, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. So that's a good question. I like that question. You want to get some visible opponents on the schedule, and you're not going to be necessarily able to bring them in. And so what do? Go to a multi-team neutral site tournament As the one question asked, would you be willing to do that? Go on the road early. You play in this tournament. You get to play some good opponents, probably. You hope so anyway. And yeah, it's a trade-off. Okay, you don't have home games. You're not hosting games, but what's the benefit from the level competition? What's the benefit from the payout? I mean, what's the benefit here? Can you make more money this way? Are you going to make more money at home? Are you going to make more money going to one of these tournaments? And is the money just about the same? If that's the case, if you're going to get an opportunity to play some better opponents early, it's not going to break your season. It's not going to make your season, but it's not going to break your season either. And I would feel better. I would rather take a good loss than a win against an opponent that, what's that going to do for you other than get you the win, get you some repetition, get some players out there, that maybe don't necessarily get a lot of playing time. I get those aspects of it, but what would you rather have? So I like that question. I'm going to ask it tomorrow. We'll get some of your phone calls in at 877-420-TALK, 877-420-8255. And the text line is open, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. More coming up on this edition of The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
This is The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
It's Monday. It's May 23rd. We are less than a few days away from Memorial Day. So I hope you all are getting set for the long weekend. Thanks for tuning in this edition of The Drive. We're going to be off on Memorial Day. Friday, plans to be determined. No solid plan just yet. So whatever the case may be, hope you all have a great holiday weekend. And don't forget, take some time to actually go out and visit with loved ones, reminisce, do what you can, if possible. There are a lot of good reasons why we do Memorial Day. So just a programming note. Friday, more than likely, we'll have something solid soon. Monday, probably no show. We do have baseball coming up that afternoon, so we'll take Memorial Day off. We are not taking off the rest of the week, however, up until Friday, so we'll get your phone calls and text in. You can join the program, 877-420-TALK, 877-420-8255. The text line is open for you, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. And I'm still on Twitter. I'm plugging away at Paul Swann. Here's another one. Question for Mr. Spears for tomorrow. He was at Pitt. He signed with JMI Sports to help with corporate sponsorships and multimedia rights. Having worked with them before, might you try to have them do the same for Marshall? That's a good question. Of course, when media rights come up, that's going to be an interesting conversation. Will Marshall be in a position where there will be more than one suitor? Will there be multiple parties interested? You got to have multiple parties interested to get a good deal. If you've got one party interested and that's about it, you're going to get an okay deal. If you've got multiple parties interested, you might have a little bit more of a conversation about, okay, which one makes the best sense for us? And we're a radio affiliate right now of Learfield, and the question is about JMI Sports. I've worked with both networks, so I'm not going to profess a preference here. But whatever is best for Marshall, I think the athletic director is definitely going to look at. And that's important, multimedia deals and distribution, that's very important. I think radio still plays a major part of college sports. And, of course, television as well. I mean, the league television package is much better. You're going to have a lot more opportunity to watch games. I think getting on the ground floor of ESPN Plus is always good. I like ESPN Plus. Here's my money. You can have it. It was great during the regular season when the new contract was announced from the NHL. For me, it was great. I know why soccer fans love it as well, because you get to see all those games. And I wish I could find one happy place where I can get everything. Major League Baseball. Baseball needs to improve its media package. But, MLB TV, I'm not a big fan. And I'm sure a lot of people aren't a big fan. And I think all of those things are important. Radio is important as well. And you really don't know the power of your radio broadcast until you leave here. Because there are a lot of places where, that's how they hear the herd. It's where you follow along. And, of course, I'm biased. I'm a radio guy. Obviously, I'm biased. But there's research out there and there's studies. Because, this is what we do for a living. We do radio, so we try to keep on top of this. And, honestly, collectively here as a radio group, we've got greater reach than some of the media properties out there, and you would be surprised. But I'm not going to tell you because those are things I'm just going to leave that to the folks and their marketing kits that go out and do the marketing for this company. I'll just leave that for them. Leave that in their tool belt. I'm not going to steal it. But as an industry, radio is important. So radio is important to your college athletics program. I mean, how many times can you count where you've gone places and they haven't had a decent package, either a TV package or a radio package? So radio, TV, all these things, JMI, Learfield, any of the other media outlets out there that cover this marketing. And it's not just, we handle your radio broadcast. It's marketing, it's multimedia rights, all of that stuff's important. It's very viable. If you're on top of it, it's very viable. If you're not on top of it, though, it's not a situation where you hope that, the local sportscaster shows up with the camera, here he is, here she is, highlights at 6 and 11, and that's it, and you reach everybody. No, you got to have greater reach. So that's a good question as well. But I don't know if he'll be able to dive too deep into that one, only because we don't know what he's looking at in the future. We don't know what his relationship's going to be or what it is now. And honestly, I don't know if that is something he would play his cards on to right now. I don't think he's going to say, we're getting rid of the – no. But I think he's going to keep all options open. So that's a good question. I'll ask it, but I think he's going to keep all options open. I feel like we should play bingo here. Did I get his answer right? I should answer for him, and then he's going to answer. And did I match his answer? Or is he listening right now, and he's going to come here tomorrow and go, you were totally wrong on that, Swan, and let me tell you why. We're going to hear that a few times. Like, hey, Paul, you were totally wrong. And he's going to do it. He's going to be so polite about it, too. That's what I love about him. He's so personable. He's going to come in like, I see where you're going, but you were totally wrong. You just blew that. Yeah. And let me tell you what my answer really is. I think we're going to get some of that. All right. The phone line is open. It's 877-420-TALK, 877-420-8255. Text line 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. We're done with Conference USA. We're done. Out. It's over. Bye. You know what I started doing today on social media? I started cleaning up my social media. I went into my follow list, and I went and got some of the obvious ones first. And I didn't do this with malice, but I'm starting to clean up my social media feed just a little bit because, honestly, I don't need to follow the Rice Owls. UTEP, UTSA. There will be some account, like individuals that maybe cover their school a little bit. I might keep them on just my feed. And again, this isn't personal. It's just I'm trying to clear up my feed here. I'm building a list on social media. I've got a Sun Belt list. I'm trying to grow that. So if you follow me on Twitter, I have a list. If I need to add to it, let me know. But I went through and just started purging some of the follows today. And first of all, if I was following and they weren't following me, And I'm like, okay, bye. I didn't feel bad about that. Like, okay, I don't need your Conference USA content anymore. Then I went and found the schools that I was looking at, following. Like UAB. I like UAB. Click unfollow. Is it just me, or are you purging your social media accounts of the Conference USA stuff as well? I haven't actually hit unfollow yet on Conference USA. Not yet. Only because that's the only way I get any information out of Conference USA right now. Yeah, right now, Conference USA, the media material I get basically comes from Twitter, or it's a "we hate Marshall" email. I got those. Anytime it was involving Marshall and the legal lawsuit, so anything else I didn't get. So I'm happy. I'm purging. I'm all in on the Sun Belt. I'm going to be a great friend to the Sun Belt until something determines that I'm not. But I'm going to be a great friend to the Sun Belt. We all love the Sun Belt, right? We're all excited. Or are you not even paying attention to social media? I'm done. Don't worry about it. Just no biggie. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. That's our text line. More coming up on this edition of The Drive, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
This is The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
It's our final segment of The Drive for this Monday, May 23rd. I'm your host, Paul Swann. Thanks for tuning in here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. As we wrap up your Monday on your drive home, and don't forget, if you miss any part of today's program, you can always catch it on the podcast. Just give us a follow on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or wherever you get your podcast. You can find The Drive with Paul Swann. As we were talking about earlier, Conference USA, it's over. We're done. We're out. It did not go well. The Owls swept Marshall Baseball 11-1 in the season finale. Season and conference, we're done. Out. Let's go. Leaving this thing. It went out on a whimper. Not a bang, just a whimper. I was hoping softball could make a little bit more noise. That didn't happen. So you're heading out, hoping that prosperity lies ahead in the Sun Belt. That's where we're at here. So let's hope that some good things are happening soon for the Thundering Herd, as the Thundering Herd is getting bigger. By the way, Coach Charles Huff, once again, getting bigger. Another transfer added yesterday. Former Power 5 offensive lineman, former Louisville offensive lineman Tim Lawson, transferring to the Herd. 6'5" and 290-pounder. So the Herd is getting bigger. Also, Seth Smith transferring to Valdosta State. Former 3-star quarterback from South Carolina transfers after spending one season with the Herd. Did not play last season. So the transfer portal giveth, the transfer portal taketh away. High school baseball action tonight. Midland and Hurricane, 6 p.m. The two are playing for the High School Region Baseball Championship. Midland is 25-6 overall. Hurricane is 29-4. It is a best-of-3 series. First game is going to be in Hurricane. Game 2 at Midland, and Game 3, if needed, back in Hurricane. Hurricane did go 2-1 versus Midland this season. Hurricane outscored Midland 17-15 in the 3 games. And the winner is going to move on to the state tournament, which will be at West Virginia Power Park in Charleston on June 2nd. So good luck to Midland and Hurricane fans. I count both of your schools among my friends. I have friends among both of you, so I can't pick and choose here. I'll take the winner I'll root for. I'm rooting for the winner to win it all. How's that? Is that good enough? I don't think that'll carry water with any of the fan bases, but Midland or Hurricane. Whichever one wins. That's my ride. I'm taking you all the way. We're going to win the state championship. I hope, anyway. Speaking of teams you might just want to go ahead and ride all the way to the championship, Coach Huff, he's a big Steph Curry fan. At least he posts a lot of pictures of him, gifs. Steph, well, Golden State took a commanding 3-0 lead in the Western Conference Finals, beat the Mavericks 109-100, and this is at least it's more competitive. Golden State 1 win away from making it to the NBA Finals. Does this not get old? 5 of the past 7 NBA Final matchups, there's Golden State. Does this not get old? I guess not if you're a Golden State fan. You're a front runner. You like Golden State. Celtics lost Game 3 of the Eastern Conference Finals at home, so they're going to try to rebound. We'll have that for you tonight. 8:30 is going to be tip time on our sister station, Cat Sports, 93.3 and 1340. Of course, as I mentioned yesterday, the Pirates lost 18-4. 18-4. That is 1-8. 18. That is double digits. Lost by 14. Gave up 18 runs. In action tonight. Taking on the Rockies. We'll have it for you right here on ESPN 94.1 at AM 930. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. I won't be watching that, though. Sorry, I know. I'm trying to convince you that you should tune in for Pirates baseball. But 18-4, I don't know if I can do that with a straight face. Let's just agree that they start winning. I can be a little bit more legitimate about this. Pirates baseball coming up tonight, 6:10. We got NHL action. Yesterday was fun. Tampa Bay won 5-1 over Florida. So if you're not a Florida fan, that was fun. Tampa has a 3-0 lead there. Edmonton beat Calgary 4-1 yesterday, so the Oilers now lead the series 2-1. And the Rangers got a win on the board, beating the Hurricanes 3-1. So Carolina still leads that series, but it's only by 1 game now. It's 2-1. Tonight, Tampa Bay is going to try to sweep Florida. They're right back at it. So it looks like Florida, unless something miraculous happens, is going to be swept. 7 o'clock will be first drop of the puck. And Colorado leads St. Louis in their series 2-1. That's coming up tonight at 9:30. So we've got NBA action, Celtics and the Heat. That's going to be on Cat Sports 93.3 and 1340. We got NHL action tonight. And we got Pirates action coming up, and that's going to be 6:10 airtime here again on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I'm hoping that when we get to the game 4, I hope the Warriors to sweep. At this point, I want to sweep. Just have them sitting back waiting. The Mavericks aren't going to win this thing, so let's just call it what it is. Mavericks aren't going to win this thing. So I want Golden State to sweep this thing. And I still think I want Miami. I'm not a Boston fan. Never been a Boston fan. So I think I want Miami in this thing. Other than that, I haven't been that interested in the NBA at all. The finals will roll around. I'll watch the finals. The lead up to the finals, not so much. And again, I've been doing other things. I have more access to more sports now than ever before. Thanks to TNT, TBS, and ESPN carrying these hockey games that I love so much. And, of course, the fact that, we don't have any more martial sports. I don't know what we're going to do in the next few months, but we have no more martial sports. So we're going to find out real quick how good my intern really is when it comes to booking guests and putting together content for this show. He's going to earn his A if he gets an A. So far, I think you get an A. We can talk. We do have track. We got track and field though. I did mislead you. Track and field. We'll have 2 members of the team competing later this week. Jason Corrier is going to be with me on Wednesday. I'm going to let him talk a little bit more about that. That can be part of his final act as sports information director, since he's the guy handling the track and field for the herd. So on his final day, he can talk about that, which is coming up on Thursday. I will say this. In our quest to keep track of everything going that is herd related, we go to the world of soccer today, and Pedro Dolabella has been outstanding for the Rochester, New York FC. 3 straight games he scored in 4 of the team's last 5 contests. He had 2 goals in the 3-0 win this past Saturday against Philadelphia Union 2. What a terrible name that is. Dolabella was named man of the match after his 2-goal performance. He also won Player of the Month in April for Rochester. So, again, this is where we go when it's all said and done, when all the sports are wrapped up. The show will survive the summer on the strength of our guests, your interaction, and whatever else we can throw at it. That's going to do it for this edition. I timed that just right. We're about out of time. So thanks for tuning in. All seriousness, thanks for tuning in. Don't forget, we've got tomorrow, again, on a serious note, we got Christian Spears coming in, and we're going to talk to him, get some of your questions and your thoughts in. I like some of these questions. I will ask all of them if I can. Yeah, I want to know, too, when we retire Steve Cotton, Keith Morehouse's jersey, where are we going to put that? Does it go in the Henderson Center? Does it go in the press box? I mean, where does it go when we? Because if you retire a jersey, you got to hang it. So where are we putting that? I mean, is it going to go in? I don't know. Is it going to go inside the SID's office? I don't know. We'll ask that question. Ring of Honor maybe around the stadium? I don't know. That seems like an important question we need to ask, and we will ask it tomorrow. Good night, everyone.
WRBC Huntington, W231BS Huntington, broadcasting from the Oscars Breakfast Burgers and Brew Studios. This is ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
West Virginia.